Welcome to Soapdish. Hi, Luann.
Mark, how are you today?
Good. And live from Florida and live from Minnesota.
Yes, and it was
It's going
great
to be a
having,
brown Christmas in Minnesota, I think, Luann.
and I bet you're all happy about that.
I kind of am, but it doesn't really feel like Christmas, so it's a little weird.
I
But
know.
yeah,
It would be nice to have a little dusting of white
it
snow.
would.
Then you not the cold, just a little snow. And here they are forecasting some nasty weather here this coming weekend.
Really?
Yeah, there's a bad storm coming through the Gulf, and we're supposed to get lots of rain starting Saturday through Sunday night, and so it's going to maybe affect some of our boat parades, Christmas boat parades that we have happening. So we'll have to stay tuned, and hopefully if they
Hopefully
don't
you can have
happen,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully they can have that, or just postpone them to another night maybe.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk. Let's start. You're filling in again for Terry. Terry's had kind of
Yes.
a family thing that she's had to deal with. So I appreciate, Luann, you're filling in again.
Yeah, I
for
don't mind.
soap- for
I don't
Soap
mind.
Dish.
Yeah, I don't mind, and we're thinking of Terry. So
Yeah,
let's get
me too.
rolling.
All right. So let's start with Young and Restless, and then we'll go into Bold and Beautiful.
Okay.
All right. So Victor vows to protect Nikki kind of at all costs. Today he was trying to tell her she needs to stay home. And I know she wants to get out. She went to the office recently and then came home. But she's finding ways to find her vodka.
I know, and she's sneaking in her little fat flask in her purse. And when she got work to yesterday, she told Audra to please leave. I don't know, I'm not really feeling that great. And as soon as Audra was out of the room, she took one chug, and then she took a couple chugs, and she said, I think I'm just going to go home. And as soon as she got home, she was opening the bottle again, and unbeknownst to Victor and her family, Victoria surprised her today by dropping in unexpectedly. And so she had to quick hide that, and then she takes her little mouth mints to make sure they can't smell the vodka. So yeah, she's definitely having a struggle with trying to stay away from the vodka. Right now, she's at a weak moment, and I think the Aunt Jordan really messed with Nikki's psyche, and she's just having a hard time getting out of that funk. And Victor is very supportive of her, like you said. He said stay home, and he's. I think he'll be very sad, and once he does catch on that she is drinking.
Yeah, and he will, at some point here, because she'll probably continue to increase, and then something's going to happen. You know what I mean? Something will happen.
Right,
But,
I agree with you. She'll either fall down or something and then he'll realize, and the
Exactly.
family will realize.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so next let's talk about Michael takes on a new client. He's going to represent Claire,
Yes.
who was involved with Uncle Jordan in the kidnapping of the whole Neuman clan.
Right. And, Michael, when he sat down with Claire, I think he was a little skeptical at first, but,
Sure. Yep.
she, really, gave him a heart-to-heart talk about how, Aunt Jordan had told me they had deserted me, and now I found out I was exchanged at birth, and it was just all lies. And it's like I don't know if I could deal with this, and to go to prison. And Michael, she got to him through what she was saying. And Michael, when he met with Cole and Victoria, said, yes, I'm willing to represent her.
Which is good.
Which is good.
He plays a good attorney on the Y&R.
Yes, he does. And, and it was interesting with his conversation, Michael's conversations with first Cole and Victoria, where, they're very torn. Like, could this be our daughter? hope maybe it's our daughter. And he's saying, hey, I'll take on this case. I'll help her out, because I'm believing her. And then you have the other side, with the more practical side, when he met with Victor, and Victor's like, she's just a con artist. She was leaving us to die too, until, she got more story. And he said, I don't believe her. And he's got his ears and eyes out for Aunt Jordan, who, too. So Victor feels the pulse of what's all going on, and he has a good sense of reading people. So that's where it's this storyline with Claire is kind of interesting, because it pulls at your heartstrings with Cole and Victoria, but then it's kind of like, okay, Victor's seeing the more practical side. Is Claire still being a good act, pretending, or is she sincere? Right. Is she really sincere that this is happening? So, in today's episode, Michael said, what he would like her to do, commit, or to say she's guilty, and, that she has claim insanity, and that's what they'll work off of to try to avoid a prison sentence.
Right, and get her mental health facility assistance instead of prison, which, makes sense in this case.
Right,
yep.
Right.
If, like you said, Luann, if this is not an act, and I, as of now, I don't think it's an act, but we'll see.
Yes, this storyline, I'm kind of like this. I don't know. Could there be more to the story? And then she is Cole and Victoria's daughter, and there's
I agree.
Her character becomes even more involved in the show, or is she and Aunt Jordan up to something? That's what I'm not sure.
And that's one of the things I like is when the writers do a new storyline like this. We're kind of, as viewers, we're kind of watching and not sure where it's going, which I like that, because it's not quite as predictable as some storylines get pretty predictable.
Right, because we don't know all of Claire's past history. We kind of get a feeling that Jordan isn't all there because of her sister Eve. But so yeah, it'll be interesting.
All right. Well, I'm going to jump ahead to 7 on our agenda, because I should have stuck with the same storyline. Victoria and Cole vow to find out the truth about Claire. And they do. They visit her in prison, and they do request a DNA test of Claire, Victoria, and Cole, and she agrees to do that. And I thought they approached it really well with her. They weren't playing hardball. They're just kind of saying, we just want answers.
Yes, we want answers.
Totally understandable.
Yeah, we want answers, and to Claire, it's like, I would think you'd want to know too. You'd want an answer,
right?
So
exactly.
The only thing here would be, will there be any hanky panky going on with the DNA results? If Aunt Jordan, that's where I'm not sure. Does Aunt Jordan
there always
get involved?
is, Luann.
I know.
How many times has that storyline been used?
It's just like, will it really just come like, here are the DNA results, and blah, here Claire, either you yes or no you are, but they're still waiting for the DNA results, so we'll see if there's.
It always seems that, and this has been true on both Y&R and B&B, is that there's always somebody inside in the lab that switches results. So
yes.
We'll see.
Yeah, so we'll stay tuned here.
Stay tuned. Yeah. We'll have to see what happens. All right. So Adam is making progress with Sally.
Yes.
Interesting. And, Nicholas and Victor showed up at the athletic club today and saw those two together, and you could tell it bothered Nick.
Yes.
He still loves her. I think he's like, I'm just not fighting, I'm fighting an uphill battle. Yes. It's just like, I don't know,
and I think he wants to not love her because he doesn't want to be hurt anymore. And it's kind of like, Sally, you have to choose what you want to do. And, I can't be involved in that part anymore.
Right.
But I think it hurts for him to see Adam and Sally together. And Adam is being on his best behavior, and their conversations between Adam and Sally is like, let's take it slow.
Chemistry there.
There's chemistry. Let's take it slow. Let's see where it goes, because Sally is still a little hesitant because she remembers all the bad things that Adam can do.
She's been burned by Adam several times. So
yeah, that's a good way to say it. Yes, she has.
But he's recuperated, or he's what's the word I'm looking for? He's a changed man, Luann.
He's reformed himself. He's reformed himself.
There you go.
Yeah, and he truly has. It's kind of like
seems that way.
But we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll give him time here.
If he can maintain that, right? If he can continue to stay
be on
on
his
the
best
straight
behavior.
Right, exactly. All right. So let's talk about, you had mentioned her, but our crazy Aunt Jordan. So with after she got away, when the Neumans got loose and the police came and all that to the house, and we talked about that last time. But yes. Jordan, today, we realize that she's back, and she's putting her plan in place to continue. She's not giving up. And I think you and I knew that was happening. But she's going to get revenge on the Neumans.
Oh, I know.
Think of that, Luann?
Well, it was interesting how all of a sudden she showed up at that little seedy hotel in Genoa City. And she had her photo album, and Victor and Nikki's wedding picture, and then there's other pictures in there, and then she has her picture of her sister Eve sitting there, and she's like, well, the plans are all getting in place here, and I'm gonna do this for you. And it's kind of like, okay, you're here now, what's your next plan? And then all of a sudden, how today's episode ended was really good. And it was when all of a sudden she's checking into the athletic club, the place where everybody hangs out, and you couldn't see who it was at first, and was this blonde hair. And as she goes into the bathroom and takes off her sunglasses, here it's Aunt Jordan, and it's kind of like, oh, okay. This is where she what's her next move now, because now she's a little bit more incognito.
And did I understand the storyline correctly? I missed a week because I was in lovely Florida. But do I understand the storyline correctly that she called in the Genoa City hotline, and that's why Victor and Nick showed up at the seedy motel that you just mentioned?
Well, I don't know if she did, because she had made some contacts there, or if Victor has.
Today she called the Genoa City hotline, and I thought maybe that's what she was doing. They didn't give us a lot of detail as to what the tip was that she was leaving, but
because they had an APB on her. She says, well, finally it took time to get this going, and then she said, oh, it's not a very attractive picture of me. and then I think Victor has his eyes and ears, his security team or whoever watching out for her too.
His security gurus.
Yeah, right.
I'll have my security force get on that. Yeah. I like how he always says that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So, I know. So
He's got everybody at the weight, Luann. He's got a lot of people on paid retainer.
Yeah, he does. He does. He sure does. He's a powerful man, and
yes, he is.
And that's why Aunt Jordan, if you're going to cross, paths with Victor, be prepared.
Yeah. Pack a lunch.
Pack a lunch, yes, right.
All right, so let's talk next about the whole Lily Heather situation. So Lily's away on business right now, and Heather's
Lily got called away because the school where her daughter's at.
Oh, that's right.
Something happened.
See, I missed that part. Okay, thank you.
I think there was a fire or something going on, and Lily wanted to be with her daughter, and so yes. So as soon as so you continue on with what happened then.
So yes, thank you. I missed that last week, but anyway, okay. So Heather this week is moving in on Daniel, and I like this storyline.
Yes,
it's going to be a cat fight between the two ladies. I think.
Yes. I think so. And, and Heather plays her character very well. And it's interesting that Chancellor Winters took her on as their attorney, because Lily works there too.
I know.
And so So that kind of surprised you, but I think
I could get
Lily.
her fired.
Yeah, I know. I think Lily is giving her the benefit of doubt that she's, hey, a great attorney. But, Heather is playing like at yesterday's episode. She was so sweet to Daniel. I'll take you out for lunch for everything you've done for me. And she said, the good parts about you and the good parts about me, our daughter has both of those. And, it's just like, she's just sweet talking him. And and I know Daniel cares a lot about Lily and loves her, but will Heather's, ways, and you get that old feeling back because they were married. Will Daniel succumb to it? I don't know.
Well, and especially because she the way I understand it is that Heather kind of left Daniel because he was kind of a train wreck at the time. And so now he's got his act together and she's kind of back. And I mean, I kind of get it. She wants to put the family back together because Daniel's got his act together. And
he looks more attractive to her than because of that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And it'd be one little happy family with her and Daniel, Lucy all back together again.
Yep,
yes.
Exactly.
And this, it's kind of a little prediction I have.
Hold on now. I got this in Super Sudsy Questions.
Oh, okay. All right. Then I'll wait.
I have a Sudsy question for you, Luann.
Okay, you do.
Let's move into that. That's
okay.
Next. All right. So let's start out, though, by talking about Will Cole, and the basis of this question is basically Will Cole and Victoria end up in romance? I mean, what do you think?
I don't know, because depending upon what the DNA results are, it could pull them closer together. Mm-hmm. And how long will Cole be around? Because if that is truly their daughter, Claire is their daughter, and after, as Cole seems like a really level-headed guy, and I don't remember him from years ago really too much. Do you?
I do, but it very vaguely.
Mm-hmm. And
I think he was actually a pretty decent guy even back when. That's what I remember.
Yeah, because he seems
a long time ago.
Yeah, he seems very caring and respectful to Victoria, and very caring. Just seems like a very nice gentleman, really wanting to support her and support what moving forward, what they may or may not find out.
All right. I'm going to add this question because I forgot. I should have put it in here, but I'm going to add it to you anyway, and I'll add it to the agenda before I post this. Will Claire end up being their child?
Like I told you, this storyline, there's a part of me that says...
Are you leaning one way or the other?
I'm leaning that she may not be, but there could be, if she is, her part will become a lot larger then. But I don't know. Because I trust Victor. You hear and listen to Victor and you kind of go, I don't know, or unless she's just a real lost little girl that, maybe she is the real thing. I don't know.
I'm going to say she is.
Okay.
And that she is going to end up being Victoria's and Cole's daughter.
Okay.
And I think it went down, I think Aunt Jordan kidnapped her from the unit. That'll all become more clear, but I do think that's going to end up being the storyline.
Yeah, because
we'll see.
Because Victoria and Cole were so sure and certain that no, we buried Eve. We buried our daughter. So.
But this storyline's been done before.
Yes, I know.
Remember Liam? Was he married to Steffi that time when he went over in the island and they switched babies on him? It was that crazy
Thomas
doctor.
The doctor, yes, and the doctor, yes, because Liam didn't know about it, and the doctor did it. Yeah. So this storyline's been done before, and it could
we'll have to see where it goes.
We won't make a bet, but we'll see who wins on this one.
The thing I've learned, Luann, over the years is, as an avid soap watcher, is that no storyline anything's possible on soap operas.
Anything? Yeah, that's true.
Even
that's
the
true.
furthest reaching stories you'd ever imagine could be true end up being true. It's crazy.
Well, hopefully we'll get our answer soon, especially if with the DNA results.
It's as you said earlier, Lauren, before we started recording. This is our getaway from politics and all the troubles in the world.
From the real world.
From the real world is
Our
to
escape.
talk bold and beautiful and young and the restless.
That's right. That's right. We're in the
right.
soap world.
Yeah, right. Imagination.
Yeah.
Will Heather be able to make the move on Daniel before Lily returns?
She's going to try her hardest. And if she's going to make any, it depends upon how long Lily stays away and how much in ways that Heather can make with Daniel. And if she does, if she's successful in, bringing him over to her side, I have a feeling, this is my one little prediction that I have, that if Lily comes back and finds out that she sees Daniel and Heather looking longingly at each other, she's going to cry on Nick's shoulder. And I think, because Nick is missing, being with someone, he's pining over Sally, but it's kind of like he's ready to move on. He's like, I need to move on. And Lily would be a good one for Lily would be to lean on Nick, and because those two have never really been together, and so that could be a interesting couple.
Yes, it could. I was just distracted by someone walking through my studio.
Oh, okay.
It was my wife, my bride.
A fan of yours?
She's a big fan of Soapdish. All right. So last question on this soap opera. Will Sally fall for Adam again? And where's this headed? This relationship?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where it's headed, but I think she will fall for him again. And will she get hurt again? Probably. Like I said, Adam truly loves her, and they are a good couple together. But what will Adam do to mess it up?
Yeah, I agree. Probably something.
So,
all right, let's move into bold and beautiful.
Okay.
All right, so Eric had, and this is while I was gone, so if you have anything to add to this, please do, Luann.
Okay.
Eric has the whole family together, and he collapses. That's where I picked up. And he's rushed to the hospital. Anything before that you want to cover?
No, not really, because
I mean,
to
that's
be
kind
honest,
of the storyline, right?
Yeah. To be honest, you didn't miss much prior to
That's
that
what I kind
last
of
week,
assumed.
because everybody at the party, everybody knew that Eric is dying, but they couldn't say anything. So all of them were talking amongst themselves, and every time Eric would cough, or they'd all look at him like, "Oh, what's going to happen?" And he's going to die. And so when he finally collapsed, it was like, okay, now the story should get more interesting, because otherwise everybody was just talking about, oh, remember this, I remember Eric doing this. So it was kind of like,
exactly.
But the one interesting thing he did find out just before he collapsed, he found out, and he did ask Ridge directly. He said, did you win the contest or did I? And Ridge said, no,
really?
I did. And Eric said, well, because everybody was a little afraid of his reaction, and he said, well, that was a very kind gesture to let me think that I had won. He said, thank you for doing that. And then he collapsed shortly after that and was rushed to the hospital.
Okay.
So he did, remember we had talked about, will he ever find out? And he did find out.
How. Yeah,
and
he
how.
did. Okay. I didn't think it would happen that way, so that's interesting. All right, so the immediate family now gathers at the hospital when Eric's taken there, and Dr. Finn is taking over Eric's case at the hospital. So Finn now tells the family in the waiting area that he has been working on an experimental cure for Eric at night and in his off time, but that it comes with some pretty serious risk.
Right.
Okay, so Finn also states that Ridge has the power of attorney for Eric's health care and health decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And after deliberation between the family members, Ridge decides to let Eric go, and he tells everybody that's in the waiting area, the family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he tells Finn to remove life support.
Mm-hmm. And before we move on to the next step, or the next one, I just, it was interesting that, yes, Ridge was the power of attorney, so he could make this decision. But it was just like he was so firm about, yes, we're just going to, there's no life to him, and this is what my father would want. And even though Donna, as his wife, was saying,
right,
I think we should give this a try, Ridge was just like, no, this is what my father would have wanted, just to like die with dignity. And, and it was like, Ridge, when all your family is saying, Donna is crying and saying, I think we should give it a try. Yes, maybe Eric first felt that way, but there's a chance with what Finn is saying that it could help. Why wouldn't we try it? And Steffi even was, saying, Dad, Finn feels, yes, there's risks, but we should give this a try. And Ridge was so rigid that it was like, nope, this is exactly. And I thought, oh, come on, Ridge,
He must have told him, though, Luann, at some point. Eric must have told Ridge that he wanted to die peacefully,
and
and not suffer, not take extreme measures to save his life.
Maybe.
Because I think that was his biggest battle. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know when that happened, if that happened last week or did it happen much earlier?
No, because up until his collapse, Ridge did not come forward to Eric and say, I know what's going on with you. They had never talked with each other about, this is what's happening. Dad, I know you're dying, and you didn't want me to know, but I know. He never did, out of respect for his dad. He said, apparently he doesn't want us all to know, so I will, abide by his wishes that we don't all know.
Okay.
So I, right. That storyline this week was, it was just a little frustrating watching Ridge. It was just like, Nope, this is what I'm going to do. And,
but, it makes for good drama, which is what they were trying to. Yeah,
that's right.
I know what you're saying. But and it would have been too eeasy for them to just say, let's just do it. I mean, they had to create some drama there.
Right.
And the writers.
Exactly. And for Donna, as the wife, it's kind of like, I could relate to her. It's just like, let's try it.
Yeah.
I don't want to give up because I love him, and I want to spend more time with him if it's possible. So.
Yep, which makes sense. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. So as Finn starts to unhook the life-saving equipment, Eric starts to flutter his eyes, and then everybody freaks out.
Yeah.
And they say, they continue to kind of beg Ridge to try the experimental procedure. Mm-hmm. And finally, after he's kind of quiet for a while and he's, everything's kind of going on, he says, let's do it.
Yes.
And so Finn gets the surgery. He said, let's get surgery ready. And they rush him into surgery.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they go into surgery.
Yes.
And Bridget, Eric's daughter, who's a doctor, ends up being in kind of accompanying. She's second in command in the surgery room.
Yes.
With Finn kind of leading the surgery operation.
Right.
And it appeared today, right at the end, that there was complications.
Right. Yes.
They started to hemorrhage.
Yes.
But so we'll see where that goes.
Yes. They, at the end they said, we're losing the patient. Yeah. He's, the things weren't going so well. So we'll see in tomorrow's episode how things do go. But I thought also in the storyline it was interesting, as Thorne and Bridget made it to the hospital, again, as Eric's other children, it's kind of like, why are some of these decisions being made without us? We want to be part of this too. And I felt for them because it's like, it's just not Ridge should be making all these decisions. They should be doing it at, Ridge can be he's the power of attorney for Eric, saying this is what our dad wanted. but then as they all can talk, together. So,
especially Bridget and Thorne, that's his immediate family.
Exactly.
And like you said, they were staying back at the Forrester Ranch waiting for word. And finally they decided to go to the hospital, and Thorne was pissed off.
He was.
At Ridge.
He was angry.
Which I expected that probably would happen.
Yeah, so, it will be nice if, from this point, if Thorne and Bridget are brought into some more storylines too. I don't know if they will be or if they're just home for Eric's little party that he had.
Oh, for the holidays.
For the holidays. Eric. Yes.
All right, let's go into Super Sudsy Questions.
Okay.
So, Luann, will Eric survive? That's the big question. Will he survive surgery?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I said I wasn't sure if he would. And now I think he does. I think he does with whatever Finn brought up, with his research and recommendation. I think it'll be a life-saving miracle for Eric.
I agree. I think that's right on. I think that's going to happen as well.
Yeah, because, the interesting part all along was there was no real name to whatever illness Eric has.
I know.
It's just like,
I know.
And there's no real information about what the
too. We don't really know what the heck they're actually doing.
But the reason why I think Eric will be doing this too, because according to She Knows Soaps and the Soap Digest, whatever, it sounds like Eric in real life has signed an extended contract. And
oh, really?
Yes.
Well, way to spoil my fun, Luann.
Yeah, I know. So I have a feeling he will be back. Maybe this all kind of happened because he was in negotiations.
Well, that could be. Well, we could write you off.
Yeah, we could write you off.
So you decide.
You decide. So I do believe he will survive the surgery. And
I think you're right. Mm-hmm. All right, next question for you is: will there be family fallout over Ridge's decision to let Eric die, especially if he lives now? Thorne's mad, as I've already mentioned. But,
yes.
Do you think their family members are going to hold a grudge against Ridge for initially saying he'd let him die?
Probably. They're like, look, if we would have all listened to you, our dad would be dead now. And
that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah, I can totally see that approach.
Oh, I can too.
Especially with Steffi and Donna.
No, especially Donna.
Pissed off.
And if I was Donna, I would go to an attorney and say, we are changing the power of attorney to me.
Yeah.
Not Ridge anymore.
Or tells Eric that after he rebounds.
Yeah, but Eric will say, no, I was just doing what I thought my dad wanted. And then they would say,
which I get that too.
Yeah, and then Thorne and Bridget should say, well, our dad, it should be our decision.
The other thing is, I don't want to belabor this, but Ridge is not Eric's natural father.
I know.
Remember? Mimosa or whatever his name was?
Exactly.
So that's why when they said he had a power of attorney, I was kind of shocked because I'm thinking, well, Thorne's actually his father.
Correct.
Biological father.
Correct.
I mean, I know Ridge has been his father his whole life, but the point is, I agree with you. Should someone else have weighed in, especially in light of that, right?
Mm-hmm. Because to me it was kind of like, Ridge was kind of playing God with Eric's life. Yeah. And
especially when there is an alternative. Many times there isn't.
Yeah, especially.
And then I get it.
Yeah, if you had confidence with Finn. Dr. Finn, and
I would say let's do it.
What have you got to lose?
Right. Other than, pain, et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, if there's a chance, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So last question for you, Luann. If Eric dies, because I was thinking about this. If Eric dies, will Steffi and family blame Finn?
Ooh.
What would that mean for Steffi's marriage?
Well,
I mean, I can see that.
Yeah.
As an alternative storyline, if Eric dies, Finn gets the blame, and Steffi would be, that would be a problem. That would in their marriage.
That would definitely be, it would make their marriage a lot more difficult, because she would always be looking at him, saying, well, I trusted you with my grandfather, and it was a risk. Maybe she'd understand, but I think it would put a little division between them.
Well, and remember, the little wiener's waiting in the wings.
Oh, God.
Liam.
Yes, we haven't seen Liam for a while, so.
I know, but that could be the rebound or the comeback.
Yeah, he's looking for that reason.
All of a sudden, if Eric would die, which I agree with you, I don't think he's gonna, but that does make kind of an alternative great storyline.
And we're thinking that he's going to survive the surgery right away. It just kind of hit me. What if they drag this on for a while? That they do the surgery, but it's like it's still iffy. There's a 50-50 chance that there could be a week or two where complications where they're not real sure yet if Eric's going to make it through, and then they could start blaming Leon or Finn. And it's like, and then
I like that.
Yeah. So I just thought of that because
you know what it's going to be, Luann? I like that. Here's what it's going to be. It's going to be the old dreaded soap opera coma.
Yeah, that's right.
Eric's going to go into it.
Yeah.
I think you're right on. I think Eric's going to go into a coma, and they're going to blame Finn, and that's how that's all going to go.
Yeah.
And then Liam's going to make his move on Steffi, and that's going to cause marital problems. And then in the end, Eric's going to pull out of it.
Yeah, because I
like that.
Yeah, so
I think you got it.
We'll see.
Wow.
We'll see how right.
All right, that's all I got. That was a lot.
I know. That's all I've got. And both shows, Young and the Restless and Bold and Beautiful, have been really good. They are good. Some good storylines.
New storylines, some new actors, bringing some old actors back.
Yes.
Good stories.
Yes, and I'm glad
I'm with you.
I'm glad they're keeping them around a little bit longer too, because some characters, the old characters too, have just been in for a day or two or a week or two, and now some of them are staying longer, too. So that's good.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Any final thoughts or comments?
Well, I'm just looking for.
Or have we said enough?
I think we've said enough, but we'll keep things rolling, and I look forward to dishing with you again soon.
All right, and we will not probably be podcasting again before Christmas, so I want to wish all our watchers and listeners a very Merry Christmas, and I hope Santa's good to you. And Luann, I hope your elevator gets fixed so that Santa can deliver your presents.
I know, me too. Merry Christmas to everyone.
Yeah, Merry Christmas and happy holidays, and we are out.